Morning. Going to do a follow-up chat about from my last video on the propaganda. This time I'm going to stick to sort of climate change. And there's a lot on this climate change. Well, global warming. I don't know what it is today. Whatever their new thing is. But in the 1970s, we was told we was going through a mini ice age. Well, now they sort of gone full 180, and planet's warming up, sea levels are rising. Well, this is what the BBC like to tell you, but we know what the BBC are up to. You know, they've got their puppets that come out. Greta Thunberg. They use a young girl. I think she's about 20 now, 21. Some people sympathise with her. The Just Stop Oil Prats. Most of them don't know really what they're doing. They're all funded. And it all goes back to school. They indoctrinate the children at such a young age. You remember 2018, 2019, the kids even had a day off to go on a protest march for climate. Parents were loving it. But as they say, there was a Nazi guy, Joseph Goebbels, I think. He said, "Tell a lie, keep telling it, and people will believe it." Well, that's what happens. But anyway, let's get on to chemtrails, cloud seeding, geoengineering. It's got a few names. But pre 1990s, if you've got any old pictures, have a look at them. I bet you'd never see any lines in the skies. And these old pictures, I mean, this is sort of 2000s, late 90s and onwards. They started this. Well, I didn't know about it then, but now it's blatant. And the amount of people that talk about the weather, come up to you and say, "Oh, what's going on with the weather? It's climate change and all that," and you point up to them, you know, and sometimes you can see a plane with no tail, and another one right next to it. And you say to them, "You watch this, it spreads out across the sky and then it gets all milky." They look at you a bit blank, but you know, then you can hit them with the Limwa story back in 1952, where the RAF, now it's admittedly, papers have came out that they cloud seeded the sky and Limwa flooded. They had, I think there's 35 deaths through this heaviest rainfall they've ever seen in the shortest amount of time. They were doing this back in the 1950s. So, you know, it goes on, but it is difficult and frustrating, and people look at you like blankly. But just find things to explain to them. You know, this isn't at government level. This is well above that. This is military, global. And all these green taxes that you have to contribute to, that's used to fund projects like this. I mean, most people don't know that. It is tough, I know. And we all feel like, oh. But we just got to keep drumming these subjects home to people. When they bring it up, just hit them back with something. I mean, ask them, "Oh, CO2, you know, we've got to lower that, have we? Do you know how much CO2 is in the atmosphere?" They won't know. It's 0.04% of our atmosphere is made up of CO2. You know, start them off, you know, tell them you've looked into this, and it is difficult. Another thing, recycling. I get companies ring up here. "How do you recycle your waste? We can do this for you." You know, and I chase them off. Just say to them, "Look, it's not me that you should be contacting. I'm only a small business. You need to be contacting the printer manufacturers, Hewlett Packard, Lexmark." This is just a small example. These printers don't last. And it's cheaper for me to go out and buy a new printer with full ink than it is to replace me ink on my existing printer. Where's the? It's nonsense. That's who they should be, but they go after the little man. The little man has to pay all the time. They don't care. But there's plenty of examples you can use like that. Another example you can use, I can't remember when it was, 2000, mid 2000s, 2007. I put the article up actually. A UK company were fishing prawns out of the sea, sending them all the way to China to be shelled, and then sending them back to the UK. Now, if this is really about climate, right, and we're in a disaster, yeah, buy locally. Why aren't we promoting local farms, local greengrocers, yeah, not supermarkets that ship it all around the world? See, the big corporations again, like the printer companies, can get away with it. It's down to you. It's your fault that this is all happening. But, well, with all this weather, everyone knows at the moment, it's going to lead to food shortages. Farmers are having trouble getting stuff out the ground. Things are not growing. I mean, they're taking peat out of the compost. It's difficult to grow your own stuff because they don't want you to grow your own stuff. They want to be the one that gives you everything. And this is going to lead on to another video I'm going to do later about your digital passport, which is linked with climate change. But we'll save that one later. Anyway, I'll keep this one short. Anyone else in the comments, write down other things you use to persuade people. Try and, give them a nudge. Look, this is what's happening. Write them down in the comments, because it's good to share all these sort of things. I just used these few examples. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. Bye. Right, just forgot a big story. Totally went out of my mind, but this is a big one that happened in April. This was the cloud seeding in Dubai. Right, I've got the Sky News webpage up to explain it. I'll include it in the link. But they said huge downpours which caused widespread disruption in the United Arab Emirates have been attributed to a process that encourages rainfall. Here we take a look at what the experts have said. And they go on. A record amount of rainfall have caused absolute carnage in Dubai on Tuesday, with schools closed. I'll just go through, and they tell you what is cloud seeding. This is on the Sky News website, by the way. This practice is a type of weather modification process where planes fly through clouds, burning salt flares and increase perception to help make it rain. And they go on a bit further. Did cloud seeding cause the storm? Following the downpour, several reports quoted meteorologists at the National Centre of Meteorology in the United Arab Emirates Agency as saying they flew 6 or 7 cloud seeding flights before the rain. But they don't think this. They go on and say, but they don't think this was the cause. Well, this is Sky News one. This is what you're up against. But this is another story that you can use with facts that facts. I don't know whether they're facts that a mainstream company has used. Right, I forgot that one. Sorry about that. But that's a big one, and it's recent.